Alright, what is up everybody? How are y'all doing? Hope your holiday season is off to a spectacular start. I am coming at you today with an old-fashioned voiceover because we're doing a short overview of the new set of animated wings I've released for early access over on my Patreon, patreon.com/spinningplumbobs. I converted the fairy wings from the Enchanted by Nature pack to work with my animated wings mod, and I've also enabled them for children, toddlers, and infants, so your little Sims can enjoy being fairies, regardless of whether or not you bought Enchanted by Enchanted by Nature. I'll also be showing you how to export your own custom painted wings from your save files to create recolors, if you so desire. I already have a video going over the mechanics of the animated wings mod and how to use it, and everything is relatively the same, so I'm not going to go too in-depth today, but there are a couple changes that I made to the base mod that I'd like to show you. So with that, let's just cut to the chase and get right into it. So first order of business, you do need the base animated wings mod over on my Patreon to get this set to work. Without it, it's basically useless. And once you have that installed, what you're going to want to do is you'll want to open the cheat console, type in testing cheats true, and enable testing cheats. Then you want to shift left click your sim and go over to the wings menu and hit enable animated wings, and that should unlock this menu here where you can select a pair of wings. And along with that, if there's an NPC that you want to give animated wings to, you just do the same thing, you shift click them, go over to the wings menu, and you can directly select wings for them. And that'll bring up this selection menu where you will have an absolute metric ton of options to choose from depending on what set you download. And the first change from the base mod that I want to bring attention to is this little drop-down menu where you can filter based on color or style. So if you want to narrow it down and just see options in a certain color or a specific style, you can do that now, and it'll hopefully make it a little bit easier to sift through all of the different options. But on to the thing that you are all gathered here today to witness, the new set of wings from the Enchanted by Nature pack, which you'll find all the way down at the bottom of this list under Innis Green. So let's click on that, and you'll see that we have almost all of the wing designs from the pack, apart from the medium-sized wings, because I figured all of the medium-sized wings are very similar to the larger size, and you can already adjust the size within the mod itself. So there was really no point in adding a bunch more designs that were virtually identical to the ones that I had already converted, but there are still a ton of designs to choose from, and all of the original swatches are there from the pack, as well as a few extras, including a neutral swatch for each one that allows you to change the color within the controls of the mod, which I'll show you in just a second. But for now, let's just throw a pair onto this toddler sim and see how they look. And there you have it. It's as simple as that. You just select which wings you want and they get applied automatically. And then if for any reason your sim gets reset like this, then you just wait a second and they pop right back on. And once they are on, you can further customize them by clicking on the wings and setting the size. So you can make them a little bigger or you can make them a bit smaller. You can also choose the movement speed. You can make them go a little bit faster or a bit on the slower side. And if you want them to stay relatively still, you just set them to inactive and they'll just do the default swaying animation that they usually do. And would you give me a break? Also, if you have testing cheats enabled, you can shift click the wings, go to the wings menu, and enable mood affected color, which will change the wing color based on the sim's mood. And you can also enable mood affected speed, which will change the speed based on their mood. So let's just enable mood affected color. And if we set her mood to happy, you can see that after a moment the wings turn green to match her happy emotion. I'd also like to point out a couple other changes that I made to the base mod, which is that instead of having a pie menu to select options from, the effects and color options are now in a menu with their own icons, because these ones have the most options, so I feel like this is an easier way to see what you're selecting and not have to click through just endless tiers of pie menus, but it still essentially works exactly the same way as it always has. So just to show you, I'm going to select light blue, and it changes the color of the wings, or we can do yellow, or pink, or we can just set it back to nothing and it'll be back to its default color. And effects have received the same treatment. They are now available in a pop-up menu. So I feel like this gives you a better idea of what you're choosing as well. Another change with today's update is that I've added some subtle variants to a few of the effects options, and that's mainly because the original effects were just a little too overbearing for the smaller wings, and specifically the wings for toddlers and infants. So we have a few more slightly subtle options available. Let's just throw on this rainbow sparkle effect, and you'll see she starts shining shining like a new penny. And it's essentially the same story for infants, so you just click on the Select Wings menu and choose whatever option you want. For this one, let's just choose one of the smaller wings, and there you go. And they have all of the same options as well. And I'm sure plenty of people are going to want to export their custom painted wings from the game so that they can create their own recolors of these objects, and I would like to show you how to do that today. So here's the sim from my Enchanted by Nature review. So let's say you go into paint mode and you create a wonderful, beautiful, artistic design that is comparable to the Mona Lisa.
Who's that?
It's my mother.
You have her eyes.
And you want these wings to be available for your children, toddlers, or whoever. You're just going to create that design. Make sure you pay attention to the name of the sim who has that design on their wings. Exit Create a Sim. And this is very important. Make sure you save the game with your custom design. Then we're going to close the game. And in order to create these recolors, you will need a few programs first. The first of which being the Sims 4 Sim Ripper, which you can get here on GitHub. I'll link all of these programs in the description below, but you'll click over here to download the most recent version of the program, and this is going to let you get those textures of the wings out of the game to make them usable. Secondly, you will need an image editing program such as Photoshop. I personally use this program, GIMP, because it is free and open source, and it works good enough for me and all my projects. So you'll download that as well. And finally, you'll need Sims 4 Studio, which is what most modders use to make their mods and what you'll be using to open up the wing packages. So once you've downloaded and installed all of those, you'll open the Sims 4 Sim Ripper. And once that program opens up, you'll go up here and hit select. It should open up your Sims 4 saves folder, and make sure you have it sorted by date modified. The one at the top of the list should be your most recent save, so we will open up that one. We're gonna make sure it's sorted by last name. And the sim that had the wing design that we're looking for, her name was Faye Hollow. So go all the way down to H. There she is. Click on that and wait for it to load. So here she is, that sim that we just saved, and there is the wing design that we're looking for. Make sure if the sim is in their human form, that you choose this drop-down menu and select Fairy. And then to export her assets, including the texture that we want, you're gonna hit Save as DAE. And you'll wanna choose a specific folder for this to keep everything organized. I've got this folder titled Ripped Wing Textures, so we're gonna save that there. It'll save everything, you can close out of that, and then we'll open up that same folder here, and there is our wing texture. It's a little bit squashed, so we'll have to fix that, but it should say your sim's name followed by wings and diffuse. Next thing you want to do is open up GIMP or Photoshop or whatever photo editing program you're using. You'll take that wing texture, drag it over, and place it in the program. So you can see right now it is absolutely squashed like a pancake, which we don't want. We want it to have the right aspect ratio. So I'm going to right click over here on the layer. We're going to hit Scale Layer, make sure these are unlinked so that we can change them independently. And we're basically going to switch these numbers around. So this is going to be 2048, and this one is going to be 1024. Hit Scale. And then you can see it's cut off by the canvas size. So we're going to hit Image, Fit Canvas to Layers, and that makes it the right size that we want. So I'm going to overwrite the image. And last but not least, we're going to open up Sims 4 Studio. You're going to go to My Projects, and then navigate to the folder where all of the wing packages are. I kept all of these names the same as the wings that they correspond with from the Enchanted by Nature pack, but you might just need to open them to figure out which one is the one that you're looking for. The one that we want is Fantasy Suite, so we are going to open up that. Go to this texture tab over here, and one thing that's really important to remember is that the adult wings are different from the infant and toddler wings. They have a different object tuning file, and the way to differentiate those is that I color coded them based on their swatches. So all of the adult wings have these dual color swatches where there's two colors, one on top of the other, and then all of the infant and toddler wings are these single color swatches. So if there's a single color, it's an infant or toddler wing, and then if it's got these two color swatches, those are adult wings. So depending on if you're making an adult or a toddler infant wing style, you need to make sure that you duplicate the correct swatch. I'm just going to duplicate this one, which is going to be an adult wing style. Make sure you have the diffuse texture selected. Hit Import, navigate to your Ripped Wing Textures folder, click on the custom wing design that you just resized, and hit Open. And there you have your custom wing design. Then you can change the swatch colors if you want to keep track of which designs you've created. The swatches aren't really that important because you never really see them in game anyway, but it's just helpful to keep track of which one is which. So we're going to do that, and we're going to save. And then if you load the game back up, you should see your custom design in the menu. The one that we just made is right here. You don't have to have any knowledge of coding or anything like that. It's just that simple. So we're going to select that. And there's your custom wing design. You can make as many recolors as you want, you can make as many swatches, and as long as you do it the way that I showed you and you're cloning the correct swatches, then you should have no problem. And that's pretty much it for what I wanted to show you guys today. I hope that this was helpful and understandable. I have never made a tutorial before, so I don't know if you guys are going to be able to follow along with it. It makes sense to me, so but I will answer any questions that you guys have if you are struggling or if something isn't working quite right for you. This wing set will be available for early access over on my Patreon for 2 weeks, and then it will be available for free to everybody. So with that, thank you guys so much for being here, for supporting me and my content.
Give it to them. Give it to them. Give it to them. More footwork.
And if you've subscribed over on my Patreon, I genuinely, sincerely appreciate it. That allows me to keep making stuff like this for you guys, which I love to do. So I hope y'all enjoy the mod and that you have a wonderful holiday season that is filled with plenty of joy, and I will talk to you in the next one. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.